कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेश तारिणे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। We'll recite Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 3 times. Okay? Okay, we'll do that together. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Please have a seat. Hare Krishna. So we'll sit straight, neck in the line at the back. Keep your eyes closed if you can remember the mantra. Take a deep breath. When you exhale, we chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, let's do it together. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, thank you so much everybody. सबका बहुत स्वागत है. So today we are going to learn about this book called as Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is one big festival coming up which is called as Bhadra Purnima. This is the day on which Srimad Bhagavatam was given to us. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is a wonderful scripture and not many people know about it. So we have to glorify and learn something about Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is a prayer for the Bhagavatam. Before we read Bhagavatam, we recite this prayer. So it is on the screen. It says, Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirahe. So which means that before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, we are paying respects to Narayana. Narayana is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam. There is a Nar and Narayan. There are two rishis. If you go to Badrinath, there is two mountains, Nar and Narayan. So I'm saying, I'm paying respects to Nar and Narayan. Devi Saraswati Vyasam. Saraswati Mata, who is the one who bestows you the education, knowledge. Vyasam. Vyasa is here in the picture, the personality is Maharishi Vedvyas. Vedvyas is the one who composed all the Vedic literature and he ultimately composed Srimad Bhagavatam. Tato Jayam Udirahe. So we are glorifying everybody. Then it says, next one, Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu. You can recite after me, okay? Try to repeat after me. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatim Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So this Srimad Bhagavatam, if we regularly recite, then our bhakti, our faith in Krishna will be solid. Nobody can break our faith in Krishna. So this is why, if you really want to progress in your spiritual life, in your devotional life, then this Bhagavatam will help us a lot. And that is why we have this Srimad Bhagavatam. Now this Srimad Bhagavatam is about a story. And story is about all of us. What is the question here for all of us? What would you do with only 7 days to live? If I ask you that if you have only 7 days to live, what will you do? So that is a question for all of us. Right? Actually, we all have only 7 days to live. You know that? You know that? We all have only how many days?
7 days.
If I tell you, some of you might get scared, right? But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, then comes Sunday. Any one of these days, our end point is finished, guaranteed, right? Is that right? Now, which Sunday we don't know yet. Maybe this Sunday, maybe a few years after. But 7 days are fixed for us, is that right? So, the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha is for all of us and it will definitely help us. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, welcome, Swagat hai aapka, baithiye. If you want to sit on a chair, please sit on a chair. Welcome. First time you are coming to the temple? Second time? Welcome. Nice to have you. Have a seat. What is your name, Prabhuji?
Yadunandan.
Yadunandan. You have a very nice name you have. Krishna's name. And what is your name?
Nikita.
Nikita. Welcome, Prabhuji. Have a seat. So, what would you do with only 7 days to live? This is the question. And this question was put forth to Parikshit Maharaj. He had only 7 days to live. So, this is what it is all about. Would you get angry? Yes or no? Some people may get. Would you blame someone? Would you blame the universe for being so cruel that you're giving you just 7 days to live? Or would you regret all those lost opportunities? What would you do out of this? Prabhuji, what is your name? Vasishtha Rishi. Vasishtha Rishi, tell us, what would you do if you have 7 days to live? Would you regret? I lost so many time, so much opportunities. So, this is what is all exploration all about, is getting wisdom and get insight into the conscious living. Whatever little time we have, we live with purpose. And that purpose is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. You get the point? So no matter it is 7 seconds, 7 minutes, 7 days or 7 years, does not matter. If you have conscious living, then you will get the things out of it. Length does not matter. What matters is your consciousness at that particular time in your life. That is what matters in as per the. So question is, would you skydive, learn to fly, swim with the shark? What would you do? Would you go on big vacation if you have 7 days to live? Yes or no? Would you go to Europe or any other country to have holidays? Would you? Then what would you do? Prabhuji, what would you do if you would you go for skydiving? Would you spend 3 hours on WhatsApp? No? Why not? How about what would you do? Would you go for a movie? No?
I will live with my family.
You will live with your family, not go for the movie, right? So what is important? This is that consciousness is important, right? So as we understand that we have very limited time, then we'll stop wasting the time. You get the point? But if you don't understand that, we will waste the time.
Be with my daughter and granddaughter.
You will live with your daughter and granddaughter, right? So here is Maharaj Parikshit. You can see the picture. The personality here sitting on the floor is Maharaj Parikshit. And on the Vyasasana, on the seat, higher seat, is Shukadev Goswami. So this is the journey of a king who is cursed that he is going to die in 7 days. So the king decided that he is not going to spend his only 7 days of the life and waste it for administrative things. King has a job of administration. But he says that somebody else can do. Now it is the very important time of my life because I have only 7 days. If I spend the same way, then it is no purpose. So, yeah. So there is an imminence of death. And this illustrates that in the life we have certain things which we must do. And that we should decide what we really want to do. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is what a king did when he faced the dilemma of having only. So what did he do in these 7 days? That is the all story about this Srimad Bhagavatam. So here is these books are here. You see these books? This is one of the volumes here. Hare Krishna. This is one of the volumes, right? Would you like to know more about it? Or you already know about it? Yadunandan, do you know about it? About Srimad Bhagavatam? You don't know? All these books, you see those books? Beautiful. How many books are there? Can you count?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Huh?
6, 7, 8,
12?
9, 10, 11,
18. There are 18 books, 18 volumes, but 12 canto. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Huh? So, what do these books offer? So, this is the Srimad Bhagavatam has total 12 cantos. Here, the 12 number, you're saying 12, so that's why you say 12, right? But actually, there are 12 cantos, but some of the cantos have more than one volumes. So, total number of books are how many? 18 volumes. He said 17, but actually it is 18. He was very close. So these are 18 volumes of books. This is the jewel of all the wisdom. So what does this have? So here is the information in these books. Now this was all originally in Sanskrit language. But our divine grace, His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he translated the Sanskrit into English. And now it is translated into many other languages of the world. So you can get Srimad Bhagavatam from Sanskrit to English, like we have one here. Or you can get into Hindi, like we have one here. or you can get it in Gujarati, all the languages. But the first one was translated by Srila Prabhupada into English. So what do this Srimad Bhagavatam offer? So here is something. Can you read first one?
For those seeking spiritual insight, they offer simple and practical guidance for attainment of the highest self-knowledge.
Oh. So there are different kinds of people on the planet. Some people are spiritualists. So if you are into spirituality, then the Srimad Bhagavatam will offer simple and practical guidance for attaining highest spiritual knowledge. I think kids are here if you want to take them.
Yes, he is looking at that.
Yeah, you want to take them to the class? Okay, please. So there are Risha is already there. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Then next one, would you read? Next one.
To sociologists and scientists, they reveal the practical workings of a peaceful, prosperous, and scientifically organized culture.
Oh, very nice. So if you are a scientist or sociologist, so first one is spiritualist, so it will give the information about spirituality. If you're a scientist or sociologist, then it will give you all the information about how this universe is practically organized. So like that, there's a big chart behind you, see that? Whole universe is being explained there. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Then third one, can you read?
Students of literature will discover them to be a masterpiece of majestic poetry.
So if you are into the literature, then you understand that how beautifully Srimad Bhagavatam is composed. So this is, if you are into, so first is if you are a spiritualist, it will give you information. If you are a scientist, it will give you information. If you are into literature, it will give information. And then next one, probably.
For students of psychology, they provide important perspectives on the nature of consciousness, human behavior, and the philosophical study of identity.
So if you are into psychology, then there are various pastimes of Lord and his devotees. And from those pastimes, you will understand about the consciousness. You will understand about the behavior of all human beings. And you will be able to understand philosophically how the human existence happens. So it's a beautiful literature which helps to philosophers, which helps to scientists, if you're into literature or if you're into psychology. It's a beautiful explanation, right? So these books are all about a conversation. So first conversation was between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami, right? He talked about it. Here is the picture. I'll get back to the picture again here, right? So Parikshit Maharaj, when he was told that he has only how many days to live? 7 days. So then he approached Shukdev Goswami and he asked him that what should I do if I have only 7 days to live? And at that time, Shukdev Goswami instructed to Parikshit Maharaj. And at that time, so many sages were also there. And one of the sage who was there, his name was Sutta Goswami. Here, you see. This Sutta Goswami then recited the same instructions of Shukdev Goswami to the 10,000 sages in a place called as Naimisharanya. So there is a discussion. The same katha is being retold by Sutta Goswami. Right? So what were the question answers? So the first question answer between these great personalities was, what is the question?
What is the ultimate good for people in general?
So the first question which is asked by the sages and to the Sutta Goswami was that what is the ultimate good for everybody? So that is the question being asked by the sages. So here is the first chapter first canto, first chapter, 9th verse. Prabhu, can you read loudly?
Being blessed with many years, explain to us in an easily understandable way what you have asserted to be the absolute and ultimate good for the people in general.
So the question was asked is that please tell us that what is the best and ultimate good? सबके लिए सबसे अच्छा क्या है? Ultimate good. What is the best of the best for everybody, for all the time? And to answer this question is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is everybody looking for? What are you looking for in your life? Peace. How about you? Achievement. How about you? Success. Very good. How about you?
Success.
Success. प्रभु जी क्या ढूंढने को आए थंडरबर्ड में? क्या ढूंढ रहे हो? कहाँ से आया? श्री गौर निताय की सीताराम श्री राधा श्री जगन्नाथ श्री बाबू सुब्रह्मण्य श्री गिरिराज धर्म की जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की। So we all are looking for happiness. Is that right? We all are in search of sukh ki khoj mein. We are all searching for. Is that right? Success, achievement, everything is because you want to be happy. So Srimad Bhagavatam explains you how you can be happy. Because we all are looking for happiness in a different ways, right? So how can we achieve lasting peace of mind and happiness? Why do we always try changing the things? Do you change the jobs? People change the jobs, right? Why?
You're not happy.
Our partners, people change the partners. Our location, we change the location. Some people are in Thunder Bay, they want to go somewhere else. They think that if they go there, they will be more happy. In order to become happy, so why do we people do that? Everybody is searching for happiness. So here is the quote from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 13th chapter, 29th verse. This is a beautiful quote which tells you about the happiness. So who wants to read it? You want to read, Prabhuji?
Oh, yes.
Go ahead. Can you see it?
Oh, yes, I can. I'll just-
Okay, read it.
All right, shall I start?
Yes, please.
Just as a deer, because of ignorance, cannot see the water within a well covered by grass, but runs after water elsewhere, the living beings covered by the material body do not see the happiness within themselves, but run after happiness in the material world.
That is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 13th, 7th canto, 13th chapter, 29. Does it make sense?
Perfect sense.
Does it make sense? What does it say? It says that, प्रभु जी वो बच्चों का क्लास चालू हो गया है सामने, उनको जाना है तो कहते हैं just as a deer because of ignorance cannot see water within a well covered by a grass but runs after water elsewhere. जैसे कोई कुआं है उसके ऊपर घास छाया हुआ है तो हिरन देख नहीं सकता है ना? वो क्या करता है? पानी की खोज दूसरी जगह करता है. देखो, deer. Actually, the water is right there, but is not able to see it. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam says that the living being covered by the material body do not see the happiness within themselves, but runs after the happiness in the material world. Everybody is looking for the happiness from outside, but where is the happiness? It is inside. So how do we get this happiness from inside is explained here in Srimad Bhagavatam by the giving analogy of this. Well, there are many quotes of this happiness. Let's do. Prabhuji, you read one.
Happiness depends upon ourselves.
Happiness is depending upon ourselves. Is that correct or wrong? Yeah? Actually, happiness is a status of mind, actually, right? Next one.
Happiness is inward and not outward. And so it doesn't depend on what we have, but on what we are.
Is that true? It's absolutely true, right? So happiness is not what we have, but what we are. Actually, happiness is a status of mind, actually. Right? So everybody is searching for happiness, and where is the happiness? Inside happiness. So that is what Srimad Bhagavatam is telling us. There's one more quote here. Happiness springs from doing good and helping others. When you give something to others, you will become more happy, actually. Is that true? Yeah. What is the meaning of life? To serve others and do good to others. That is the definition of happiness, right? So Srimad Bhagavatam guides us about happiness. Are we all searching for happiness? Yes, we all are, right? Then Srimad Bhagavatam also tells us about he was looking for the peace, right? So Srimad Bhagavatam says about the peace. What is the purest form of happiness? In an individualistic world, how can selflessness be beneficial? What is the key to achieving the world's peace? All these questions are answered in Srimad Bhagavatam. Here is the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5th, chapter 18, verse 9. World peace. Can you read, Prabhuji?
May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious persons be pacified. May all living beings become calm by practicing bhakti yoga. For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Krishna and always remain absorbed in thought of Him.
So here the world peace, if you really want the peace of whole world, that formula is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, that may there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious person be pacified. There are so many envious people, right, on the planet. Everybody is envious of each other. May all living beings become calm by practicing bhakti yoga. So when we surrender to Krishna, then we become satisfied. By accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us engage in service of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of Him. So the purpose of human life is to serve, to show compassion, and the will to help others. Happiness consists in giving and in serving others. These are some of the quotes. So Srimad Bhagavatam talks about happiness, talks about the world peace. Then it also talks about some of the beautiful pastimes of reincarnation. There is a very nice pastime which talks about life and death. There is one beautiful quote from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th chapter, 11th canto, 22nd chapter, verse 39. Who wants to read? Prabhu, you want to read?
When the living entity passes from the present body to the next body, which is created by his own karma, he becomes absorbed in the pleasurable and painful sensation of the new body and completely forgets the experience of previous body. This total forgetfulness of one's previous material identity, which becomes about for one reason or another, it's called death.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So, how does he define death? Death is forgetfulness of our previous life. It's called as death. So, here, when a living entity, when the soul passes from one body to next body, which is created by how the next body is created? By his own karma, he becomes absorbed in pleasurable and painful sensation of the new body and completely forgets the experience of previous body. The total forgetfulness of previous material identity, which comes about for one reason or other, is called as death. So we forget everything what we had experienced in the previous life. That is the situation of that. As we forget the dream, yesterday night we had a dream, we forgot today. Today we'll have another dream which we'll forget tomorrow, like that. So that forgetfulness is death. You understand? There's a very beautiful quote about the energy like you has no beginning and no end. It can never be destroyed. It is only ever shifting states. So the soul is compared with the energy here because there is no beginning and no end to the energy. Energy always, there is no beginning and end. It only changes its form from one form to another, right? Lessons in life will be repeated until they are, and all the lessons will be repeated again and again, right? So reincarnation. What is the difference between a dream and reality? Why do we think of ourselves, particular nationality, race, and ethnicity? That is answered here in Srimad Bhagavatam. Can you read the next one?
What is called birth is simple a person's total identification with a new body. One accepts the new body just as one completely accepts the experience of a death, a dream or a fantasy or reality.
Chapter Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, chapter 22, verse 40, where it is said that what is called birth is simply a person's total identification with a new body. Death is forgetfulness of previous body, and birth is identification with the new body. One accepts the new body just as one completely accepts the experience of a dream or a fantasy as reality. So what we are experiencing here is actually accepting a dream as a reality. Actually, there's a very nice quote by Albert Einstein which says that reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. So continuous illusion is called as reality because reality is also an illusion. You understand this? If you see the one movie continuously, it appears real, but those are just moving pictures actually. It appears real, but it's illusion. You understand? So reality is also a continuous state of illusion is called as reality. That is a very nice quote by Albert Einstein. So Srimad Bhagavatam explains this is Maharaj Chitraketu Katha. That Maharaj Chitraketu had no son, and then he wanted the son. So then he requested Narad Muni that please give me the son. He said, you have no son in your fortune. So in spite of that, he requested. So then Maharaj Chitraketu gets a son. His name is Harsha Shoka, which means one who gives him pleasure and sadness. And then somehow or other, the son dies and the Maharaj becomes so much attached to the son. And that son then starts speaking about this all information about life and death. Beautiful chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then Srimad Bhagavatam also tells about human life. What is that? What is the meaning of the life? What is our purpose? Can a simple spiritual life really make one happy? All these questions are answered by Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a quote here from Srimad Bhagavatam. Who wants to read this one? Priyanka, when you want to read this?
Life desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life for self-preservation. Since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth, nothing else should be the goal of one's works.
Thank you so much. So here, Shukdev Goswami is explaining to Parikshit Maharaj that life's desire should never be towards sense gratification. Sense gratification is the material happiness. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation as much as required. And since a human being is meant for inquiry about absolute truth, nothing else should be the goal of one's life. Our ultimate purpose of the human life is to find out who is the God, what is his name, what is his address, where does he live, and what is my relationship with God. If we just spend all the time in material happiness, then that is as good as animal life. So that is what is said here. The talent of being happy is appreciating and liking what you have instead of what you don't have. So this is the talent of human life. What is that talent?
I'm appreciating what we have.
What you have rather than
What we don't.
what you don't have. That is a human being, right? So if you are really talented, then you become appreciate what you Krishna has given you very kindly. Yeah? And then use it for whatever you have, use it for what? For service of Krishna, right? Whatever little you have, yeah, that is what it is said here in the verse. That it should never be towards sense gratification, it is towards the service of Krishna, right? So if you are really talented, what would you do? Prabhuji, what would you do? Are you talented? Yes? What would you do? So you appreciate what you have, whatever little more, whatever, and then use it for service of Krishna. That is called as satisfaction. So Srimad Bhagavatam tells us about satisfaction. What does it say? Can you read?
Satisfaction. What determines our happiness in this life? How do we stop the urges that prompt us to consume more and more?
We all have urges to consume more, right? So how do you do that? So here is a quote from Srimad Bhagavatam. Sneha, want to read?
A person should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny, for discontent can never bring happiness. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing the three worlds. If happiness is the ultimate goal of life, one must be satisfied with the position in which he is placed by providence.
This is the satisfaction. Srimad Bhagavatam tells us about satisfaction. This is a beautiful verse. What does it say? What does it say? A person should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his destiny. You see, they say, भाग्य से ज़्यादा कभी किसी को कुछ मिलने वाला. Your destiny. So you will get according to your destiny. For a discontent can never bring happiness. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing the three worlds. If you give him everything of this world, he will not be happy. If happiness is the ultimate goal of life, one must be satisfied with the position in which he is placed by providence. So whatever the body, like I have got this body, can you change the body now? What body you have got, can you change it now? No, whatever face you have to accept it now. That's all done. How do you get the body? By destiny, by your karma in the previous life, right? Like I've got this brown body. If I want a white body, can I get it? I can't get it. It's a done deal now. It's packaged. The soul is already packaged. So what I have to do? Just be happy with whatever I have got, right? And make the best out of the whatever the deal you got, right? So that is what Srimad Bhagavatam is saying, that a person should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny. Do you believe in destiny? Yeah? No? Probably you don't believe in destiny.
The thing is, it is just like everything is decided by God and our karma. So if we work hard, because God will also can change the whatever outcome with their power.
Okay.
So do whatever karma you have to do, and God will decide.
That is what satisfaction is about. That is what it's talking about. That is what this shloka says. That whatever you got out of your destiny, you just accept it and do whatever you have to do. Don't go crazy behind it, right? So that is what it is saying. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with all the three worlds, right? So there was one king. King was very materialistic. He had no inclination for the spiritual. He had all the money, everything, and he was enjoying all the time. But he had a guru, and guru wanted to guide him. So guru many times told this king, but king would never listen. So then guru decided to teach him a lesson. So one time, guru told his this king that you find the most foolish person, Mahamurkha, the greatest Murkha in your kingdom, and give him this stick. And he has to go around the kingdom every day, come back in the evening, and give him a salary of 100 gold coins every day. So king had no problem. So king requested all his soldiers to go around and find the most foolish Murkha, Mahamurkha. And they found one guy who was laughing, sitting underneath a tree and laughing. He had no clothes and he was laughing. So they thought he's a fool number one. So they got him. And the king said, this is the stick you take, go around every day, come back evening and collect how many coins? 100 gold coins from you, like salary. It's okay, no problem. So their murk every day is to go around and come back and collect $100, 100 coins. Is that a good job? Would you do that? Would you do that even if somebody calls you fool?
Yeah.
He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind as long as 100 coins, gold coins. Doesn't matter, right? How about you? Would you do that job? Yeah? How many of you would do it? Everybody would do it? Yeah. What's the problem, right? So the mulk did every day. He came and he did for so many years. Every day collecting so many coins. But one day the king was about to die. So now it's time of death. So king want to say goodbye to everybody. So he called his family, queens, all the children. Everybody came. King said goodbye. Now I'm going. He called his ministers. Everybody he called and said, Alvida, I'm going now. So then finally he said, oh, I haven't met that Murkha, Mahamurkha, that foolish number one whom I'm giving the salary every day. So he said, call that foolish guy, call him. So he said, fool, Murkha, I'm leaving, I'm retiring you from your job, but still you will get the salary every day. Come and collect, but what you can do is that pass on this stick to somebody who is greater fool than you. So this fool who was a Murkha, he said, King, where are you going? He said, I'm going far off. But where? He said, I will not be able to tell you because you won't understand. You are fool number one. So when you are going, why don't you take some food with you? Because on the journey you will need some food. So the king said, no, I can't take any food with me. He said, then why don't you take some money, some gold coins with you? He said, no, I cannot take any gold coins with me. He said, why don't you take some servants with you? Because they will help you. He said, I cannot take any servants with me. So he said, why don't you take some horses or elephants? Because you will get tired. You are walking all the time. He said, no, Murkha, you go away. You can't understand. I cannot take even a single penny with me because he's going to die, right? But why don't you do one thing? Take this stick and give to somebody who is a greater fool than you. So that Murkha took the stick and put the stick in the hand of the king. And he said, King said, you are giving this stick to me. I ask you to give it to somebody who is greater fool than you. He said, you are the greatest fool. Why? Why is the greatest fool?
Because he is giving 100 gold coins every day, someone to do nothing.
No, because the message was that king accumulated so much, but he couldn't take anything with him. Is that right? King spent all his life in accumulating all the money, wealth, power, prestige. But now he cannot take anything with him. So that is why he said that you are a greatest fool, number one. So king understood. So that is what Srimad Bhagavatam teaches. That a person should be, what is that? Can you read, Mihir?
A person should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his various destiny, for discontent can never bring happiness. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing the three worlds. Three worlds. If happiness is the ultimate goal of life, one must be satisfied with the position in which he is placed by providence.
So if you are a devotee of Lord Krishna, then even after giving your best, if you get failure or success, doesn't matter. Why? Because whatever Krishna wants, it's Krishna mercy, right? We are nobody to decide. There's very one nice quote about it. If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the world belongs to you. Right? Beautiful quote. Srimad Bhagavatam also tells us about consciousness. Now, environmental consciousness is very high rise, right? Everybody is talking about environmental consciousness. So here, the biggest challenge we face is shifting the human consciousness, not saving the planet. The planet doesn't need saving. We have to save ourselves by saving the planet. The Srimad Bhagavatam tells about consciousness. Here is a quote from Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhuji, you want to read? Yeah. Yeah. Can you read?
When a person's mind and senses are attached to sense objects for enjoyment, the mind becomes agitated. As a result of always thinking of sense objects, one's real consciousness is almost lost. Like the water in a lake that is gradually sucked up by the big grass straws on its bank.
Thank you so much. So here, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 22, Text 30. What it says is that when our mind and senses are always busy in sense enjoyment, then the mind becomes disturbed. As a result, always thinking of sense objects, one's real consciousness is almost lost. If you really want to be Krishna conscious, then we have to stay away from the thing which suck up the consciousness. Like water in the lake that is gradually sucked up by the big grass straws. The big grass by the side of water can take away all the water. Similarly, if you really want to be Krishna conscious, then you have to stay away from the thing which will suck away your Krishna consciousness. What is that? That is the materialistic things. Here, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam says that if you really want to achieve the peace, then you have to control the senses, horses. So here is the 5 horses. These are the senses. And then there is rain, which is mind. And then there is a driver. And then there is a passenger. So if these horses go wild, there's no point. Horses has to be controlled by the rein, which is the mind. And mind has to be controlled by intelligence, buddhi. So your intelligence has to be powerful. How do you keep your intelligence powerful? By reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. That is why we need to read Bhagavad Gita. So uncontrolled senses. Who is in control? Our senses or ourselves? How often in our pursuit of happiness do we seek to please something other than our senses? Here is a beautiful quote from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 19, Text 21. Who wants to read this? Prabhu, you want to read? Go ahead.
Even the entirety of whatever there may be within the 3 worlds, to satisfy one's senses cannot satisfy a person whose senses are uncontrolled. The material world.
Hey Prabhu, can you go out and get everybody inside? क्या कर रहे हो उधर? प्लीज.
The material world is an illusory energy to deviate the living beings from the path of self-realization. Anyone who is in this material world is extremely anxious to get more and more things for sense gratification. Actually, the real purpose of life is not sense gratification but self-realization. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Srimad Bhagavatam says that whatever there may be within the three worlds to satisfy one's senses cannot satisfy a person whose senses are uncontrolled. So no matter how many times you eat gulab jamun, the next time you see you want to eat 5, 10. Right? Is that right? One is not enough. You need more than one. So that is why. So material world is an illusionary energy to deviate the living beings away from the path of self-realization. Anyone who in this material world is extremely anxious to get more and more things, actually they will never be happy. Because the happiness is not outside but inside. Here is Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam giving teaching to his friends. What Prahlad Maharaj says in Canto 7, Chapter 6, Text 3. My dear friends, born of corrupt families. What he says? My dear friends, born of corrupt families. Because all his friends were demoniac. Prahlad's friends were demoniac. He says, the happiness perceived with reference to the sense objects by contact with the body can be obtained in any form of life. Happiness through the senses can be obtained from any form of like animals, birds, insects, reptiles. Everybody has. They derive happiness through eating, through the senses. They derive happiness through sensual activities, and the humans can also. According to one's past fruitive activities, such happiness is automatically obtained without any endeavor, just as we obtain distress. तो प्रहलाद महाराज क्या कहते हैं? जैसे दुख के लिए मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ती है, दुख अपने आप ही आ जाता है, वैसे भी सुख के लिए कोई मेहनत करने का जरूरत अपने आप ही आ जाएगा. अगर लिखा है कुछ तो आ जाएगा, उसके लिए ज्यादा मेहनत करने की जरूरत नहीं है. मेहनत किसके लिए करनी पड़ेगी? भगवान को पाने के लिए. भगवान ऐसे नहीं मिलेंगे. दो टाइम का रोटी कमाने के लिए भी मेहनत करना पड़ता है, ये सब लोग. तो भगवान पाने के लिए सबसे ज्यादा मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. तो प्रहलाद महाराज क्या कहते हैं कि हैप्पीनेस व्हिच इज डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम द सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट विल बी ऑब्टेन्ड एज पर योर डेस्टिनी. अगर आपके नसीब में है तो वो मिलेगा, सुख या दुख जो भी है. तो श्रीमद् भागवतम में से बहुत सारी शिक्षाएं हैं जो आपको भगवान की तरफ लेके जा सकती है. Who will read this? The last person who came in this hall. Okay, Krishna Ben, read that one.
The living being, in whatever species of life he appears, finds a particular type of satisfaction in that species, and he is never overreached to being situated in such a condition.
This is from Canto 3, Chapter 30, verse 4. A living being, in whatever species of life he appears, finds a particular type of satisfaction in that species and is never averse to being situated in such a condition. देखिए, किसी को कर्म के हिसाब से सुअर का शरीर मिल गया. कौन सा शरीर? पिग. तो पिग कहाँ रहता है? मड में, गंदी जगह में. अगर आप इंडिया में जाएंगे तो पिग सब गंदी गंदी चीजें खाता है ना. लेकिन पिग आनंद करता है, उसको तो अच्छा लगता है. गटर में भी अच्छा लगता है. आपको अच्छा लगेगा? यस और नो? लेकिन उसको वो अच्छा लगता है. क्यों? तो ये कहते हैं कि भौतिक प्रकृति का नियम है कि आपको जैसा भी शरीर मिल जाता है उसमें आप आनंद लेना चालू कर देते हैं. समझ में आ रहा है क्या? नहीं. तो भौतिक आनंद वो भी लेता है, आप भी लेते हैं. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? वो कुछ गंदा खाकर आनंद लेता है, आप कुछ गुलाब जामुन खाकर. फर्क नहीं पड़ता. आनंद तो सरीखा ही है ना. तो वो भौतिक आनंद उनको भी मिलता है, आपको भी मिलता है. उसमें कोई बड़ी काम नहीं है. जब आप भक्ति में आनंद लेते हैं तो वो डुक्कर को मिलने, सुअर को नहीं मिल सकता है, वो आपको मिल सकता है ना। तो मनुष्य जीवन का अर्थ क्या है? भगवान कृष्ण को याद करना, श्रीमद् भागवतम पढ़ना। अगर मनुष्य जीवन में भागवतम नहीं पढ़े तो कभी पढ़ेंगे? कैन पिग रीड भागवतम? कैन पिग चैंट हरे कृष्ण? कैन डॉग चैंट हरे कृष्ण? डॉग मंदिर तक आ सकता है, मंदिर में आ सकता है डॉग, लेकिन वो चैंट नहीं करेगा, वो भागवतम नहीं पढ़ेगा, भगवद गीता। तो श्रीमद् भागवतम में कहते हैं कि आपको अपने कर्म के हिसाब से शरीर मिल जाएगा और उसमें आप आनंदित भी हो जाएंगे, और जब मृत्यु आएगी तो क्या हो जाएंगे? वो भूल जाएंगे और नए शरीर में आनंद लेना चालू करेंगे। तो ये है श्रीमद् भागवतम की कथा। श्रीमद् भागवतम आपको आईना दिखाता है। Okay, who came the last? You came the last? Okay, read.
The misguided materialist does not know that his very body is impermanent and that the attractions of home, land, and wealth, which are in relationship with that body, are also temporary. Out of ignorance only, he thinks that everything is permanent.
This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, verse 3rd canto, 13th chapter, verse 3. It says that people who are materialist, misguided, they think that the body is, they do not know that this body is impermanent. They think that everything is permanent. They plan as if everything is going to last for, बहुत बड़ा प्लान चल रहा है। क्या प्लान चल रहा है? कल ऐसा, परसों वैसा, आज इधर इन्वेस्ट करेंगे तो कल डबल हो जाएगा, फिर उसका 4 गुना 5 गुना। Attraction of home, land, wealth, which are in relationship with the body, are temporary. Out of ignorance only, he thinks that everything is permanent. Job, PR, everybody wants PR. PR चाहिए सबको. So here is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam also tells about the time. What does Srimad Bhagavatam tells about the time? Ryan Prabhu, can you read?
Material bodies are constantly undergoing creation and destruction by the force of time, whose swiftness is imperceptible. But because of the subtle nature of time, no one sees this.
This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 20, Chapter 22, Canto 11, Chapter 22, verse 42. That our body is constantly being destroyed actually. But the time is so subtle that we don't even realize that we are being killed. We are being destroyed every time. So, in all species of life, the soul remains unchangeable as we move from one body to another. So some of the verses I have taken from Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are grateful to Srila Prabhupada who translated the Srimad Bhagavatam for all of us from Sanskrit to English. So what is our duty now? Srimad Bhagavatam. We all must have a copy of Bhagavatam and read Srimad Bhagavatam. How many of you have Bhagavatam at home? कितने लोगों के पास भागवतम है? You have Bhagavatam? Wonderful. Only one person out of 50. So how many would like to have? कौन भागवतम खरीदना चाहेगा? Anybody would like to have Bhagavatam at home? You would like to have one? Okay, wonderful. Anybody else? You would like to have one? 3 people will buy Bhagavatam before you go. You will carry all the 18 volumes before you go. लेके जाएंगे आज? Yes or no? Would you take one? You will take one set of Bhagavatam. How about you? You will take one? How about you? ब्रेक करके नहीं मिलेगा, पूरा 18 वॉल्यूम्स लेना पड़ेगा, ऐसा ब्रेक करके नहीं मिलता. So Prabhuji, what is your name? Make the big round of applause to make good Prabhu. Very good. How about you, Krishna Ben? You will take one whole set of Bhagavatam? Okay, big round of applause to Krishna Ben. Very good. Anybody else want to take Srimad Bhagavatam today? कौन लेके जाएगा एक भागवतम का सेट? नहीं? ठीक है, तो 2 ही लोग लेके जाएंगे भागवतम. भागवतम is actually literary incarnation of Lord Krishna. भगवान का जो अवतार है वो श्रीमद् भागवतम है। हमारे हर एक के घर में भागवतम होना चाहिए। इफ यू डू नॉट कीप भागवतम देन हु विल कीप द भागवतम। और उसके साथ रोज पढ़ना भी चाहिए जरूर से, ठीक है। सो थैंक यू सो मच एवरीबडी, दोज 2 people who volunteered to take Bhagavatam. Before you go to collect the Bhagavatam set, is that right? श्रील प्रभुपाद की गौर प्रेमानंद। आइए आरती करेंगे, सब लोग आगे आ जाइएगा, बाहर जितने हैं उनको बुला लीजिए आरती के लिए। निताय की सीताराम लक्ष्मण भगवान की
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare